Hi, I am Marigale Ferratayaw, one of the reporter of criticism. So, my report is all about feminist criticism. So, what is feminist criticism? Feminist criticism is the result of the women's movement in 1960s. It began in United States as women's right movement. This movement demanded equal rights and opportunities for women in education, work, places, politics, and voting rights. So, criticism is a kind of critical theory, meaning that is a way of studying the world to critique ideas that are widely accepted without much question. In feminist criticism, the widely accepted ideas that are looked at with scrutiny are gender and sex alongside other social identities. So, Maggie Ham and Rebecca Walker in 2010 stated that the history of feminism can be divided into three waves. So, the first wave, early 19th century, focuses on the promotion of equal contract and property rights for women and the opposition to chattel marriage and ownership of marriage women and their children by their husband. So one of the biggest criticism of the first wave feminism is that this primarily focused on the plight of white women. Many early feminists involved in this movement were middle class and white and focused demonstration and discourse on women as a one-size-fits-all oppressed category. End of the 19th century focused on gaining political power, particularly the right of women's suffrage. Next, the second wave. In the second wave, 1960s and 1970s focuses on the civil rights movement, raised the issue of equality and justice. So, a general critique of the second wave was that it ignored differences in women and did not take into account how, for example, a black woman of color would experience sexism differently from a white woman, even if they are both women grappling with the issue in a patriarchal society. So, next, for the third wave, gender and sexuality are the main focus. Gender is created of patriarchy, not God. It makes the terms masculine for the stereotype of men and feminine for the stereotype of women. So, from being too radical to disrespecting the work of its predecessor, the third wave of feminism has faced criticism on many fronts. It was less united than the first and the second waves. Its goals less clear and causes more disputed. The very need for the feminists in the 21st century itself was called into question. So that's all the three waves of feminist criticism. So let's proceed to the types of feminist criticism. So the four types of feminism criticism are radical feminism, Marxist feminism, cultural feminism, and liberal feminism. So first, radical feminism, women are always pressed by the men, thus they have to fight them back. and have strong opinion that men are their enemies so that they cannot live with them. So, radical feminism focuses on the rejection of the patriarchal ideal that a private shepherd from women, focusing on children marriage and the maintenance of the household. Due to this private sphere, the political sphere of patriarchy result in women being harmed through rape, domestic violence, and prostitution. Next, Marxist feminism. So Marxist feminism focus on the class, wants to fade the class, become because the labor women have lower class than men. And women get the salary lower than men. Marxist feminism is a philosophical variant of feminism that incorporate and extend Marxist theory. Marxist feminist analyzes the ways in which women are exploited through capitalism and the individual ownership of private property. Next, cultural feminism refers to a philosophy that men and women have different approaches to the world around them, and that greater value should be placed on the way women approach the world. In some cases, cultural feminism argues that a woman's way of looking at the world is actually superior to men. So, cultural feminism is a term used to describe a variety of radical feminism that attempts to revalue and redefine attributes culturally ascribed to femaleness. It is also used to describe theories that commend innate differences between women and men. And last, liberal feminism. Feminism, also called mainstream feminism, is a main branch of feminism defined by its focus on achieving gender equality through political and legal reform within the framework of liberal democracy and informed by a human rights perspective. So, equality feminism is a subset of the overall feminism movement and more specifically of the liberal feminist tradition that focuses on the basic similarities between men and women and whose ultimate goal is the equality of both genders in all domains. So again, so that's all po my my video lesson. Thank you. Again, I am Marigel Ferretaya from BSE 2N.